Hi, this is Dr. V, Chief Health Coach with Modern Holistic Health, and today we're going to be discussing leaky gut, the gut microbiome, its role in regulating multiple organ systems. A little introduction to the gut microbiome. The bacteria in our gut actually outnumber the cells in our body by a factor of 10 to 1. In fact, we have more bacteria living on and in our bodies than we have actual cells of our bodies. It's pretty incredible. These different bacterial strains that we have that live on and in us are actually responsible for keeping us alive and healthy. In fact, we would not be able to live without them. The gut has integral ties to the rest of the body, including the brain, the immune system, inflammatory system, and our hormone systems like our adrenal glands and our female hormones and our thyroid. The gut actually does produce a lot of different hormones in the body, including our thyroid hormones, our brain chemistry hormones, namely dopamine and serotonin. They are responsible, our gut is responsible for helping us with the synthesis of vitamin D, with the methylation of our vitamin B12 and folate so that we can make our brain chemistry and drive 250 other different chemical reactions through the process of methylation. As I mentioned earlier, it does drive our immune function. It helps us to regulate our metabolism. And if our gut is not working properly, it's going to affect every single one of those systems in our bodies. Now, our lining of our gut and our ecosystem of our gut can get damaged. And when that happens, it actually will affect the entire body, causing a cascade of problems to occur, such as hormone imbalances, acne, brain chemistry imbalances, neurodegenerative diseases. It can really take autism and the symptoms of being on the autistic scale and make them much worse. It can lead to issues with autoimmunity and other chronic diseases. And this illustration here is just showing how you can have, in a healthy gut, the cells, also called the tight junctions, are lining the gut and preventing microorganisms and toxins from leaking out and jumping into the bloodstream. But once we have had a compromise to our gut biome or gut ecosystem, these tight junctions actually open up like doors, allowing different microorganisms and toxins and things that are not supposed to leave the gut system that are now able to leave the gut system and enter into the bloodstream, which will lead to, as I mentioned earlier, things like autoimmunity, nutrient absorption, nutrient malabsorption, systemic inflammation, and chemical alterations to the brain. There are many different factors that can cause the integrity of the gut microbiome to become dysbiotic, or what we know as leaky gut. And some of the causes I've included here on this slide are antibiotics and other pharmaceutical drugs like corticosteroids. You can have different genetic variants that can cause some issues with the integrity of the gut. Many of the foods that we are exposed to that contain toxins and additives and preservatives in them also can cause issues with the gut microbiome integrity, as well as toxins such as fluoride, which is found in our municipal water systems, and things like stress, which can cause alterations in our physiology that can actually trigger gut issues leading to leaky gut. Here's a little slide just showing the impact of antibiotics on the microbiome that allows overgrowth of pathogens and actually provides an environment where pathogens can overgrow very rapidly. Pathogens are what we're calling bacteria or viruses or other types of bugs that don't belong in our gut system. The antibiotics actually reduce the diversity of a healthy microbiome, which allows infections such as C. diff to proliferate and produce enough toxins, which we call endotoxins, that actually enter the bloodstream because they're able to leak out through the tight junctions. And it ends up causing a lot of inflammation, not only in the gut, but throughout the entire body. Also, gut motility can cause a factor leading to leaky gut. So if we're having a reduction in gut motility, the bacteria that are viruses, and other pathogens that would normally move through the gut fairly rapidly and be expelled by our gut system will actually sit in the gut, and they will reproduce and grow in number when we are having a reduction in gut motility. There are many different things that can cause a reduction in gut motility, including diet changes, travel, dehydration can cause it as well, because not just because you're having a decrease in gut motility when you don't have enough water in the colon, but it also creates a mineral imbalance, which also then can set the stage for virulence factors, where you can have microbes that don't belong in the gut actually start to take a hold and overgrow and start to cause inflammation. Stress, as I mentioned earlier, can cause physiologic changes in the body that can decrease motility in the gut, but can also destroy the lining of the gut as well. And some of the specific medications that can also cause a reduction in gut motility leading to leaky gut include opioids, beta adrenergic agonists such as Proventil. You have your tricyclic antidepressants and anticholinergic medications such as Benadryl. These different medications can actually cause a lot of GI distress, just as antibiotics can, which can lead to development of SIBO due to not only a reduction in motility, but a reduction in the good bacteria that are living in our gut. And here is a slide showing a microscopic view of a healthy gut ecosystem versus a sick and malfunctioning ecosystem. And you can take note here the similarity of the healthy gut ecosystem to a healthy coral reef and a sick ecosystem of the gut, and how it looks very similar to a sick coral reef. So what do we do to recreate a healthy gut microbiome so that we can heal the malfunctioning gut, heal the leaky gut? First, we need to find the underlying causes for the disruption of the microbiome in the first place, whether it's antibiotics, stress, food, or different lifestyle factors, or genetics. Oftentimes we find that there are a multitude of different variables that are not only causing a leaky gut, but are also causing a trickle-down effect and leading to many other different health issues with the individuals. Once we do our testing to identify the underlying causes, we want to then remove those underlying causes or remove the interferences, whether it be food, reducing the need for the medications that might be adding to the problem, environmental toxins, also removing infections, and changing different lifestyle factors like stress, and learning how to modulate that in a healthy manner. Once we remove the interferences, then we need to focus on restoring the gut lining, which would include the mucosal barrier, restoring and improving the microbiome diversity by creating an environment where we can re-inoculate the gut with the healthy bacteria, and so that they'll also have a place to survive and to live. And then with that, we want to make sure that we are restoring the normal levels of secretory IgA, which can go up or down depending on the type of infection and the length of infection. Is it more acute, or has it been chronic, going on for a while? That can actually alter the levels of secretory IgA, which then changes the entire microbiome or ecosystem of the gut. And down here at the bottom of the slide, I've just included a before and after on a lab on an individual who was struggling with a lot of anxiety and depression and sleep issues and a few other different gut-related health issues as well. And once we identified the underlying factors that were causing the brain chemistry levels to be out of balance, as well as finding the underlying factors for the leaky gut, and once we were able to do the testing and identify those, then we were able to remove the interferences that were the underlying causes, restore the gut lining, and address a couple of other items that we needed to address. And you can see the after. That was about less than 5 months after we started working with this individual. And you can see that most of the neurotransmitters had already come back into a normal range. If you are interested in learning more about how you can heal any of your chronic issues, we might have a program that works for you. We might just be exactly what you've been looking for. We have different programs, amongst them our Healthy Body Restoration Program, our Breakthrough Program, and our Transformation Program. And if you want to find out which might work for you, or if you would be a good candidate for our programs, simply go to our website at modernholistichealth.com, and you can schedule an appointment for a first visit or a consultation. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned a lot from this.